partners and I were, we were looking through a Groupon site, and we seemed to see a lot of, problems with it. One being that we had to, for example, full payment, and what happens if we don't redeem it. Just scratching our heads thinking, how could we make this business a little bit better? After going to a drawing board, thinking about it here and there, we thought about Spungry, which was the $1 deal booking. Now, our company is based in Singapore, saying that we only have a virtual office, although we work mobile, so that we can have an office sort of set up everywhere and anywhere. So our product Spungry is essentially a deal site, but exclusive for F&B. And we've sort of changed the business model a little bit so that it works slightly different than the typical deal site. For the diner side, the consumers only need to pay $1 to book the deal, and they pay the remaining once they dine at the merchant's restaurant. For the merchant side, we don't take commission, so zero commission for the merchants, meaning they can provide better quality deals, and we don't handle any of their cash, so the transaction is simply between the merchant and the diner. We're allowing merchants to provide good quality discounts, yet still making a good profit margin on top of that. And for the consumers, obviously, we all like to eat. Singaporean, I think, has one of the most number of merchants, restaurants per capita, and we want to provide these diners a good deal. Our target market is anybody and everybody who is looking for a good eat. We have about 200 or 300 restaurants in our database. Saying that, we have a sales and marketing team going to each restaurant and converting them to Spungry merchants, and then from then on, having them post deals. So currently, we are going out to the merchants to get them on board. However, once we have a substantial number of deals and traction, we're hoping that the merchants will come to us instead. So how Singapore is different is that I think the fact that it's a very close community-based consumer behavior, and the fact that all the restaurants are kind of close by each other makes it easier for consumers to access these diners. They can walk into a restaurant, find a good meal. They can walk into another restaurant and find a good meal without even knowing where they are. It's a small market, but a good sizable market for us to start off with, and then later on expand globally. We want to be able to get the merchants to provide deals that they can only offer on Spungry and nowhere else. That's one thing. And the other thing is obviously consumers, right? One of our co-partners, Joe Augustin, who's a radio DJ here in Singapore, we'll be using him as a leverage of marketing Spungry and acquiring new users on board. Typical deal site, no matter how good of a deal you get, the one that benefits is actually the deal site itself. Whereas with Spungry, we want it to be a win-win-win situation where the merchants will benefit, the consumers will benefit, as well as Spungry will benefit as well. We're hoping to scale globally, as well as we want to make this a very, very social element. As our motto, Spungry, eat together. We have plans where, let's say, I can buy a deal for someone and then give it to somebody else as a present. So we want to make it a very social sort of network effect.